Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. It is currently March 1st, 2020. As you guys know, we are a few days away from Warlords New York, which is the brand new expansion that's going to be taking us back to Lower Manhattan in New York City. Originally, I wasn't going to make this video because I thought some people have already done it, but people have asked me to actually make this video. I'm not going to make it too long, but this will be my last video for this update until Warlords comes out. Then I'll be trying to stream for you guys when it's released from level 1 to 40. That way you guys can see the full progression and get that out there. But this video is going to be based on how big is the new DLC. First, I'm going to compare, which is the map sizes. What I'm talking about is how big is the map. And first of all is going to be Division 2. This is the standard size for Division 2, and this is what happens when we first joined the game, or what was there when we first joined. And you guys will see here, once I click off this is what the map looks like now. This is the updated map. You see we have Camp White Oak, Manning Zoo, the College, Coney Island, the Pentagon, Washington National Airport, and those are added, DLCs we had a little bit later on. One thing you'll notice as well is the DZs are split up into 3 sections, compared to something like the first game where we had one long DZ. Also, the big difference is as well, it's not snowing in DC. And it's summer, there's grass, there's lots of trees and lots of stuff growing, so it's still urban, but you have a lot more hills and stuff, and it's not just one big clutter of buildings, which I didn't mind sometimes, but sometimes they got a little old because a lot of the buildings kind of look copied and pasted, which I kind of tried to ignore, but some of them look like that. But DC is a very fun area for me to explore. I love it, especially Roosevelt Island, going across the bridge, and there's a lot of stuff that stand out that's really cool to look at. But overall, I'm really happy with the map size of Division 2. Now we're going to take a step back, and that's going to be in Division 1. You guys will see here, this is the map size. The big difference, like I said, is the Dark Zone. The DZ in Division 1 goes all the way up, and before there was DZ 6, 7, and 8, they just had DZ 6. We didn't have the 2 other DZs. We just had DZ 6 for the longest time, and that was the map. And they finally, increased it a little bit, and also it got a little bit bigger with West Side Pier being added. And one of the incursions gave a little bit more room, and slowly the map got a little bit bigger, and we had a little bit more stuff to explore. But overall, Division 1 was a lot of fun, but the map was really urban, which didn't bother me, but there was lots of snow, all the buildings were colored together, but the DZ was probably the best part of this map, and I know I missed this DZ because it was just so much fun with tons of people in it, and constantly just running rogue and manhunt, going all the way up top of the DZ, all the way back down, and just fighting different, tons of groups and fighting the whole server. Now last is going to be the Warlords of New York, and this is the Lower Manhattan district. And another thing too is Division 1 was not 100% 1-to-1 scale. They actually cut a few things, if I remember correctly. Some of the buildings were chopped. That's why the map did look a little bit different compared to the normal size of New York City. And they did chop it a little bit, so it's not a 1-to-1 scale. Warlords of New York is a 1-to-1 scale, so it's pretty much the exact size. The way they've had this, it's 1-to-1, and it's a pretty small section. You will see we have Battery Park, the Civic Center, 2 bridges, Financial District, and these are the main areas you'll be exploring, and each one of these have been affected differently. As you guys know, if you play Division 2, you will see in some sections that the hurricane has actually thrown boats and cars and all kinds of stuff everywhere. That's just completely thrown around. And that's pretty much how Warlords of New York is. Since this is still near the coast, the shore and stuff, and there's still water there, you will see a lot of damage to some of these areas where the hurricane has thrown cars into buildings, where the streets are absolutely flooded, or bridges are messed up because of this. But the last thing I want to talk about is going to be the size comparison, and that's going to be Division 2, Division 1, and Warlords. You will see right here, Warlords of New York is actually way smaller compared to Division 1 and Division 2. It's pretty much just like a small chunk of the map. It's not all of it, but it's a small section. But overall, it's going to be a pretty decent area to explore, and I think you guys are going to be really happy with it, with all the new exotics, the new gear sets, even the new NPCs are going to be fighting, and the missions are going to be fighting, in, and they're going to be adding more stuff like seasons, and we'll get to experience them in this whole new area. But it's really cool that way. You can also hop back and forth from Division 2 to Division 1. So if there's loot allocation areas you don't like in Division 2's map or in DC, you can go back into New York and have different loot allocations and farm for something that might be a little bit different there. And also overall, it's a new area. I know a lot of you guys are probably sick of DC and you wanted to go back to New York in the summer. and there's no snow. So now we can wear summer clothing and stuff and experience New York if it was in the summer instead of tons and tons and tons of snow with lots of showers and stuff of snow and blizzards that you couldn't see absolute jack shit in the DZ when you were running, and it was a little annoying. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to experience this new map. But thanks all for watching this.